So hello friends, good morning. Welcome to my channel, Digital with the Crane. We have discussed about the definition of the structural equation modeling. Now today we will talk about some terms that is basically used in structural equation modeling. So let's start. The first term, that is basically when we are talking about the structural equation modeling, the first term that comes is known as the exogenous construct and the endogenous construct. Exogenous and the endogenous construct. So basically the concept of exogenous construct is it is acting as an independent variable. Just like in the regression equation we said there is a dependent variable and there will be an independent variable. In the same manner, when we are talking about the structural equation modeling, the independent variable will be known as exogenous construct and the dependent all the dependent variables will be known as an endogenous constructs. Now exogenous constructs are basically a latent multi-item equivalent of independent variables. Now the question is, what is the meaning of this term latent? What is the meaning of this term latent? So latent basically means something hidden, means that variable that you cannot measure it directly. So that's why this variable is known as the latent. Multi-item means when there will be two, three variables or two, three items that would explain that particular construct or that would define that particular construct or that would measure that particular construct is known as the latent construct. So you should keep in your mind that whenever we are talking about the structural equation modeling, the variables, the constructs that we are using in our study, it would be latent as well as the multi-item construct. Just like in my previous video, I gave an example of okay, this is one construct, let's say stress, and this construct is followed by a compulsive buying, and then it would be followed by the post-purchase regret. Suppose these are the three different constructs in my study, or suppose this is basically a model. So here, this stress is basically acting as a latent construct. Why exogenous as well as latent construct? Why latent? Because we are not directly measuring this stress. There are certain set of items that would measure this stress part. Second is basically the compulsive buying. This compulsive buying, because we are discussing about the structural equation modeling, so here we will say that this compulsive buying is acting as an exogenous construct. Yeah, for this set of relationship, this compulsive buying is acting as an endogenous relationship. But when we are talking about this set of relationship, then this compulsive buying is acting as an exogenous or independent variable or exogenous construct. But for the overall relationship, this compulsive buying will also acting as an exogenous construct. So here we are not directly measuring the compulsive buying. There will be certain set of items that would measure it, that would measure the compulsive buying. So the concept of this is basically the concept of exogenous construct and the endogenous construct. In the same manner, if we go by the definition of endogenous construct, so are the latent multi-item equivalent to dependent variable. So just you should keep in your mind exogenous means all the independent variables in your study, and endogenous basically means all the dependent variables in your study. uh, Let me give you one example. Suppose this is one example, like how will you rate your supervisor on 1 to 5 scale? So this is basically a observed construct. How it is an observed construct? Because I have to rate my supervisor simply on 1 to 5 scale. There is no any other variables that are involved. Now look at the second question. Second question is talking about how will you rate your supervisor in the following terms. So here these are the five set of items that would define the rating of my supervisor. So that is basically a latent construct. Here I am directly rating my super overall rating. You can say I'm directly giving, let's say I'm giving 4 to my supervisor. So that is basically an observed construct. I am directly measuring it. But if I say these are the five set of items, these are the five different variables that would decide the rating of my supervisor. So here the rating of the supervisor will be acting as a latent construct. Why latent? Because this the rating is defined by these five different variables, you can say, or five different items, like his or her publication in A star journal. Second, how much time he or she is giving to you. Then behavior wise, how that person is, knowledge domain, and there can be some other things also. So this is basically these five set of variables, or these five set of items are actually deciding the rating of my supervisor. So here the rating is actually depends on these five set of variables. So that's why in the second case this would be a latent. But if we take the example of first case, then in first case we are directly just giving 1 to 5 में कौन सा point we are giving, so that would be acting as an observed construct. So that is all about the endogenous and exogenous construct. And thank you so much for watching. If you like my video, so please like it, subscribe it, and please do comments. If you have any doubt, if you want some new videos, so please keep comments. So thank you so much.